Hello, my lovelies. Welcome. Welcome to Frankfurt, Germany, my friends. It is 7 p.m. over here, and I'm so happy to be on the Dixiebelle main page tonight. So when you join me, guys, just say hi to me and let me know where you're watching from. Hi, Nina. How are you? Hi to Spain. How's the weather there? We had beautiful sunshine today. It slowly gets warmer, it slowly gets spring. So we're going to paint, or we're going to do, like a midnight sky inspired piece. And bonsoir, Michelle, ça va? Oh, uncovering treasures. Hi to Mississippi. Thank you for joining me. So it is Retailer Appreciation Month. Hi, Kristen. So there's a lot of fellow retailers going live on the main Dixiebelle page in the month of May. So I'm very excited for them and for myself. And I would say, let's get going. So this is not a real antique. I'm just going to say in advance. So this is, you can see it's like this, I don't know what you call it in English. After all, I'm German, guys, so some words I'm missing. So don't worry about it. And I always invent new words also. You got to get used to that. So I already said yesterday, I might be woody band addicted. So every piece I basically do gets like a little woody band on it. So this piece also. Cheers, coffee. I'm drinking coffee day and night. So are you a coffee drinker or are you a tea drinker? Let me know, guys. Let me know. So the woody band I've chosen for this piece is the 2110. You can also get those from Dixiebelle and the Dixiebelle retailers. The link is in the description of the video. You can go to the Dixiebelle page and check those out. And the main thing about the woody bands is that they are, I'm going to come a little closer. They are solid, like wood. They behave like wood, but when you warm them up, you can basically shape them around curves and things like that. And this piece is curvy, and this is going to go in the middle where this, whatever that means is. So I'm going to bring it closer. That's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to apply that. And you can paint them before you apply them. You can paint them after you've applied them. That's completely up to you, depending, obviously, what project you have in mind. Hi, Jeannie. Hi to Alabama. Oh, did you? I hope you liked it. I love it. I love them, absolutely. So as I said, you can paint them before and you can paint them afterwards. It basically depends what look you're going for. This piece, obviously, I had decoupage behind. I didn't want to mess that up with the paint, so I painted it beforehand and applied it, painted. And with this project, this is going to blend in with the whole piece. So I am going to apply it first and paint it afterwards. And you can use basically every paint you think of. Hi, Georgia. Oh, to Cyprus. Welcome. Welcome. Not too far. Closer than the US. Closer than the US. So you can warm them up either with a heat gun or with a hair dryer, and a embossing gun works also. You can put them on a sausage griddle. Everything works fine to get them nice and soft, so you can basically mold them around this, this curve. And I'm using a heat gun. I actually have the backing of the ornament I've used on the other piece because they are heat resistant to heat it up on. That's what I'm going to do first. You apply them. It's a bit noisy now. My apologies. Just want to show you. This one is very light. Gotta be careful I'm not blowing it off. You can even use stain on them because they are porous. They will soak up stain if you want to get like a natural wooden look. So the thicker areas need a little longer to warm up, and the thinner areas obviously go a little quicker, but that was already fine. So it gets nice and bendy, so you can basically shape it around this edge. And for applying it, you use wood glue of a good quality. I use the Tight Bond Quick and Thick, but you can use any. If you have wood glue, good quality, just use that. Dixiebelle has some also. I'm not quite sure what theirs is called. I don't think I can get that over here in Germany. Not everything you have in the US we have over here. So, and I'm using a brush to spread it out. Good little me. I usually do it with my fingers. I'm a messy painter. So if you're like me, raise your hand. Who else is a messy painter? So you spread it out evenly on the back. Make sure that you especially hit the edges. And it's probably a little too much. Everything which is going to be squeezed out on the sides, I'm going to take off. I'm going to take that. That doesn't work. I'm going to take off with a baby wipe. You can use a baby wipe, a damp cloth, a brush. I'm going to use a baby wipe and a brush because there are some details. Wood glue is water-based, so therefore that works nicely. So out of the way, that out of the way, center that about the middle. Just pretty easy with that piece. I don't even need to eyeball because it is still warm enough. I can feel it stiffening up, but it is still warm enough for applying it. So it gets warm. Push it down. The nice thing about the Quick and Thick, it's a little thicker than usual wood glue, so it has like a good initial adhesion and it doesn't slip off straight away. I'll just grab a baby wipe to take off the main mess I just made with the glue. So it's a 2110 I'm using here. It's a 2110. And you don't need to worry about compromising or damaging the details. You're not. They are very solid. So grab a damp brush. Before I use my heat gun, I want to get like the main mess off. I always want to make sure I have enough glue on here so it sticks nicely onto the surface. But I don't really want to dry that in now. Even the glue, it is white, it dries clear. I don't want to have all that mess. Get the main boo-boos off. Just have a glass of water standing there to clean my brush out a little in between. So then I'm going to heat it back up to get it nice and flexible again. And I'm going to really push it onto my project so it snuggles itself on there. So who's painting along with me? What are you painting, guys? What are you painting, guys? So just make sure I have it in position. So now just grab my heat gun again. I'm going to warm it up again. And then I'm going to push it right down, especially on the edges. You can see there's some more glue coming out, which is a good sign because that's a sign it snuggles itself right onto the surface. And at the end, you won't have any gaps or anything, and it's going to look like it was on there all the way along. So that's the difference to when you use molds with clay or something like that. Clay, when it dries and you've applied it beforehand, it'll get some cracks and things like that. I mean, everything is for, you know, if you're going for that look, that's fine. But with those, you get like a nice clean look. And the nice thing is you can work or you can carry on straight away. This painting or whatever you want to do. Is that straight? Someone you tell me. Always eyeballing things, and I'm sometimes, especially when I'm chatting away, a little distracted. I'm not as multitasking as most women are. Hallo liebe Vera, hi Betty, hi Joe, hi to North Carolina. You're sealing a few pieces, So you're multitasking, so you're working on several pieces at the same time. I think everybody of us does. Thank you, Kristen. So put that to the side. Now, the plan for the piece is we're going to use, and we're going to start, the base, the bottom will be in caviar, and then we will work with Bunker Hill Blue, which is like a brighter navy blue, and we're going to work with, blend in some cobalt blue. Hi, Amy. Thank you for joining. I'm working with some cobalt blue. So this is the idea, and the top will receive a base of cobalt blue. We're going to work with crackle on there. So, oh, thank you, Kristen. You're so sweet. I love watching you painting. So, I love watching you painting. Kristen is an amazing artist. Amy, everybody knows also. She's one of our amazing, thank you, one of our amazing ambassadors from Dixiebelle. So I made myself some hinges. I already taken off the hardware, and I filled the hardware holes with Dixie mud, because I'm not going to reuse the hardware. I didn't like that. So I just, you know, use some tape to put down some hooks so I can pull the drawers out when I need to. Okay, let's get going. If you have questions, guys, yes, Betty, they do. If you have questions, guys, please put them down in the comments, and I will see that I answer those straight away. We're going to work with the chalk mineral paints tonight. Chalk mineral paints are VOC free. They are water based. They have no smell whatsoever. The caviar is a true black. You can see it is a true black. And oh, her knowledge is unbelievable. She is unbelievable. So, but you know, those are the three colors we're gonna go for. And we're probably going to add at the end some black wax, but this is not for today. This is not for today. I'll bring you a little down. So let's start with some caviar. I brought my very first mini brushes. So Dixiebelle is over here for about 3.5 years, and those are my very first mini brushes. I'm still using them, guys. I know they are not cheap, but they are the best brushes I've ever used. So, water-based products, water-based paints, make sure you mix them up nicely. So, I sometimes paint out of the lid. There's not that much paint in here. I'm probably going to, careful. I'm not dropping that water. I have my mister bottle. There's just water in here. So I like to mist my pieces. Oh, thank you, Betty. That's so sweet. So if you love to sprinkle, I'm very happy if you do. So I just like to dampen my brush a little bit before I start painting. So, as I said, the base is going to be mainly caviar, and then we're going to go up into the other colors. And on top, as this is like a little wavy, I'm going to have on those raised areas a little more of the cobalt blue, and in the middle on the other bits there will be some Bunker blue. So sorry, I was just thinking. And I mainly use my mini brush for the wider areas. I usually obviously use the wide side. If I have thinner areas, I just use the slimmer side. So, if you treat yourself to a good brush, it doesn't mean that you have to have tons of them. You can do everything. You can even paint spindles with them. I've painted loads of spindles with them. That works. Everything works perfect. So, coverage of the chalk mineral paints, as you can see, is great. You're definitely good to go with 2 coats. Sometimes even 1 coat would be fine. I just like to paint 2 coats. Preparation for this piece was, it was cleaned nicely, as per usual with White Lightning. Never miss that step. It is very important for all the upcoming steps. And I actually scuff sanded the whole piece because it was very shiny, and that's why I just scuff sanded it quickly. Use the 220 grit to go over it just to take the shine off and give it a little bit of grip for the paint to come. So you don't need to sand it down. That's not necessary. And I didn't even check for bleeding on that piece because I'm working with mainly dark colors anyway. So I'll be fine whatever I do. So, Dankeschön. Ja, Dankeschön, Vera. Das findet man bei uns nicht so ganz oft. Hi, Tanja. The bell brush is great also. I love it also. So we are on the first coat, guys. I'm not going to go for perfect coverage. This is the first layer of paint. The blending we're doing won't be perfect either. So there's different ways of blending. When we start doing that in a minute, there's different ways of blending, and loads of ways of blending anyway, so everybody's got its own preference for those. I'm just going to go quickly over here to get this side also done for the base. There we go. Yeah. Careful, I'm not putting my brush into my coffee. Wouldn't be the first time. Who's done that? Apart from me. So the Dixiebelle paints, the chalk mineral paints, you don't really need to prime your piece or something like that. Only if you work with light colors and you have a bleeder, meaning that the wood ingredients and tenons are gonna go or pull through. Then you should use locking primer. Dixiebelle has one which is the Boss. Around this ornament, I'm just going to go a little bit dabbing and swirling to make sure I'm reaching all the details. My coffee is dangerous here. It's black like caviar. I'll probably end up with it in a second. So we have the base done. That's it. It's pretty dark, as you can see. It's pretty dark. Thank you, Tanya. So I'm just going to wrap that up in a baby wipe. That's the reason my brushes last very long, because I keep them damp. Then I put them to the side so that the paint doesn't dry in the bristles. So now we're going to get to the Bunker Hill Blue. Always mix it up nicely. I'm going to use the paint out of the lid. I'm going to pour something into the lid also because I'm going to do some blending. I'm trying to be a good girl today and not to be too messy. To be or not to be. To be or not to be. So Bunker Hill Blue, I love that color, and Cobalt Blue. Cobalt Blue. I'm going to leave it like that for now. I won't need that much from the Cobalt Blue because this is basically more for the highlighting. Again, next mini brush. Just work the water a little into the brush, and then I'm going to lay down. I'm going to leave the drawers in for now. Again, here's the first coat. I'm not going for perfect coverage. I rather like to work in thin coats. The chalk mineral paints, they are self-leveling, meaning the brush strokes will level themselves out during the drying process. Just lay down the paint on the side here a little bit because I don't want to have like big blobs on the outside rim here. So on the sides, there's round, those edges. I'm just slapping them. I'm just giving them a good slap. Get the paint on here. Want to paint right up to the drawers. Push it in there. Actually taped it off on the inside to have a clean edge. You don't have to do that. You can come in straight afterwards and basically take off with a damp cloth or something like that. If you've gone over the edge where you don't want to have the paint. So now I'm going to spritz that piece also a little bit This is just water. This is just plain water I'm using here. And I'm using the Mr. bottle from Dixiebelle. Just get that down for now. I'm giving it a base with the Bunker Hill Blue before I come in with my Cobalt Blue. Actually, for that ornament, I'm going to grab a French tip brush, and I'm going to spray that a little so the paint goes easier into those details. I can go around in a swirly motion here to hit all the areas. Obviously, that works with all type of ornaments you're using. And I don't need to be gentle. Those woody bands, even, I mean, the top one we just applied, but even so, even when they have just been applied, they're very strong. You can just go straight over it. So let's that. Just do the top one quick also. Glue might not be completely dry, but that's fine. It is underneath. There you go. Just try to check it from different angles so you make sure that you have rewind, that you fit all the details. So it's good to go. Oop. Yep. I love Bunker Hill Blue. That's my favorite from the darker blues. And also I'm using very little paint, guys. I want to have a thin coat, and the main blending is going to happen on the second coat anyway. And even so. If you feel the paint is, depending on room temperature and humidity, the paint may dry. I was just swirling there. There is some unevenness on this piece, so just want to make sure I get in all the cracks and crannies. Down for now. So on the top, I said I'm going to work with Crackle. And the base, I think I'm going to work with Crackle. I'm sure I will work with Crackle. I love Crackle. And the base for that will be the Cobalt Blue, which is the color which comes through as cracks at the end. But I have not decided yet if I'm going to use the, as a top color, if I'm going to use I'm going to use Bunker Hill Blue or if I'm gonna go for Caviar for the top. I'm not sure yet. Let me know what you think. What color we should take on top. Cobalt blue. Thank you, Betty. All right, thank you, Betty, for tuning in anyway. Really appreciate you. So just going very light over this edge here. This mister bottle makes a very fine mist and it doesn't develop any dripping or drops. Well, if you use a lot, obviously it will, but if you use it moderate, you won't have drops. It's got a very fine mist. So there we go. Now I'm going to decide the areas where I want to have my cobalt blue. It's a tough choice. I know. That's why I'm leaving it up to you. I'm going to bring you a little further up so you can see what we do. So let's grab another brush. So as I said, there's different ways of blending. You know, some people just like to do some color blocking on the first coat where the paints are supposed to go, and others like me, for example, I like to start like rough blending, I call it, on the first coat, because I want to get an idea how those colors go with each other. And if I don't like it, I can always change it on the second coat. So the cobalt, as I said, I only want to have like on those raised areas. I'm going to use my mister bottle to get it a little damp. Just laying it out. The main thing is when you blend that your paints stay roughly wet, that it doesn't dry. Now I'm going to come back with my Bunker Hill Blue. I'm just going to go right next to it. I'm hardly touching the surface. I'm going to just move the paints a little into each other. Can't really see because that's the light is changing it. So if you go over the edge just like this, it, you know, the paints will like, you know, automatically blend with each other. Same thing on the bottom. I will need a little more as the Bunker Hill has already dried. I'm just going to add it next to it a little. Go from there. And this is just supposed to be like a little bit of a highlighting. It's not like very much visible blend. This is just going to be like a highlighting on those raised areas. This is still my Bunker Hill Blue brush. I'm keeping it damp to keep the bristle, hair, whatever you are, come off. Don't want you on there. Hope I've got it. just going to be, I'm going to go right over the middle of it now. So just to move that into my bunker hole blue. As I said, it's the first coat. No need to be perfect on this one. This is just giving me the idea if I really like it where it is or not. And obviously when you overwork it, especially on the first coat, you may take your paint back down. So that's another reason why the blend won't be, oh, I'm not doing a perfect blend on the first coat, but even so, this is the way it's gonna go. If your brush has picked up too much of the other color, yes, Christine, they do. Jeannie, I'm happy you do. I'm happy you do. So actually the first time I'm painting this color combination. I was thinking about it. I wanted to do that for a long time, and I knew I wanted to do that on this type of dresser. So lay my cobalt on here. Just gonna go on the raised areas. Give it a spritz. Oh, just pushed my handle in there. Even so. So I'm gonna come in with my bunker hole blue, give it a spritz, and come from the side here. And I'm just moving my brush over the edge where they meet, just to give it like a little blend. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Right over it also. As I said, this is just supposed to be a little bit of a shading I want to achieve on the one here. Come in a little bit with my cobalt blue. Top, I still need to do it. And when you choose colors to blend, choose colors which are close. It makes your life a lot easier. Bunker hole blue and cobalt blue are pretty close to each other, so they are really, really easy to blend. So if you are scared of blending or wondering why it doesn't work, the main thing is use a good brush and a mister bottle, light hand. I always say it's like almost like butterfly kisses, so you hardly touch the surface. So that's basically the way to go. So this is, I'm gonna leave that now. I want to let that dry, and I'm going to see if I like this color combination. It looks pretty nice to me at the moment, but as I said, I do want to make sure I really like it. I don't want to overwork the paint also, because I'm going to pull it, I'm going to pull it off if I am working too rough on it. I'm just going to give the top, see if I can get you a little higher. Just going to give the top a quick coat of cobalt. So this is also prepared. And then we are ready to apply the crackle the next time. But the paint's got to be dry. Just give it a spritz. This is going to be the base, as I said. Cobalt is going to be the base. And also here, I'm applying thin coats. I'm misting the piece, I'm misting my brush just to make sure the paint stays smooth. Chalk mineral paints, they dry pretty quick, which is a great benefit because, you know, basically in about an hour I could work on the second coat if I wanted to. You can basically see how quick you basically have the first coat down. You can also use the paints in a sprayer. If you wanted to. I love cobalt blue. This is such a fun, bright color. Oops, this way around. I want to do this way around. It has, Nina, it has, Nina. I actually have a second piece of that, which is even nicer made. I think that the other piece is a little older. The draw sides are very nicely done. So I'm not sure if Dixiebelle is here. I haven't seen them yet. And a little goes a long way, guys. You really don't need much paint. I'm just going to spray it a little more to get into all those crevices. So you really don't need much paint. Quickly done. If you don't have a mister bottle like I have, just spray your brush so that you don't get, you know, drips on your paint on your furniture. So that works also. So there we are. Top is done also. As I said, self-leveling during the drying. Brush strokes will level themselves out, so the finish will be very smooth. Even we don't need that because there's going to be some crackle. I think so anyway. Maybe I'm going to do some stenciling. For those who know me, they know that I quite like to change my mind. Oops. Here I am. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Nina. So guys, thank you ever so much for joining me tonight. As I said, my name is Angela. I'm the owner and creative energy from Elfen Helden. Please make sure to tune in to all the other retailers on the Dixiebelle main page. We have Retailer Appreciation Month. And there's like loads of my fellow retailers, you know, coming out, showing what they can do. They're all amazing artists and all lovely people. So make sure to tune in with those also. I'm ever so grateful you joined me tonight. Thank you so much, Dixiebelle, to have me back on your page. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to wish you now a lovely evening. Take care. If I missed any questions, guys, I'm going to come back in and check for those. If you watch replay, please put #replay that I know that you've been there. If you want to follow me, I would love that. I would love to see you in my lives. I do lives in German and in English. And yeah, I'm going to let you go now, guys. Bye-bye. Ta-da for now. Bye.